Hey, how's it going? It's Eric. It is Tuesday, almost 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'm stuck in some major traffic trying to go to work. So I thought, since I'm only going like 2 miles an hour for the next hour, I would make a YouTube video. So I think this one I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of being in the California State Military Reserve.
Take me like a pill, swallow me with wonder, that you stop to feel, laced with love and desire.
So the California State Military Reserve, so what it is, it's the defense force for the state of California. Basically, we do a couple things, or they do a couple things. I actually just got out, so one thing they do is they augment and supportive roles for the California Army National Guard and the California Air National Guard. So there's an Army unit and there's an Air unit. So the way it works is that with the California State Military Reserve, orders come down from the governor. The structure of it is you have the governor, then you have the California Army National Guard and the California Air National Guard, and below that you have the California State Military Reserve. So when you think about it, like the California Army National Guard and the California Air National Guard, they do state missions, right, throughout the state, like fires, floods, earthquakes, riots, and then they also can get called up for active or for deployments to help with the Air Force and the Army and the Army and the big Army for overseas missions and things like that. With the California State Military Reserve, you're only in the state of California. That's it. So you can work the fires, floods, earthquakes, and riots, but you're not going to go overseas by any means. Some of the things we do with the Army National Guard and the California Air National Guard is we do supportive roles, really. We do security forces around the base, like bases. Sometimes you go to a Army National Guard base or a Air National Guard base, and you'll see a soldier or airman with a, instead of it saying U.S. Army or U.S. Air Force, it says California. We provide Humvee drivers. We actually, not only do we provide drivers, we also do run the driver's qualification ranges, or driver's qualification courses. We also run the ranges for the California Army National Guard, and we do the qualification courses. We also do a lot of parades. If you're assigned to recruiting or in PR, you'll definitely do a lot of parades. So that's basically it. It's not like a really complicated organization. We did work a lot with the California Army National Guard where I was based at, so it was pretty fun. But I think there is like some pros and cons to it. I'm just gonna try to be as honest as possible. I'm not gonna gripe about small things, but some things that you may or it may or may not be for you. So I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm like on my 100th take right now. And it's only been 8 minutes of recording, and I just cannot get sentences out. I was in state military for about almost 2 years. I decided to do that because I was kind of like, I've always wanted to be in the military, and I always had a hard time pulling a trigger. And then this thing, and I think I was just on Google or whatever, and I found this site on I think it's calguard.gov, and it showed the California State Military Reserve. And so I had no idea what that was. I was looking at the Army National Guard, I think, and so I was looking at that, and then it sounded pretty cool, And so I just sent an email in just to say I was interested. Let me see if I can list out the pros and cons. Hold on, I guess I gotta do some invasive driving music for this. So the first big positive for me was I was able to get a lot of working experience with the Air National Guard and the Army National Guard. That was really cool. We did a lot of work together with them. So I was able to get a feel for, well, actually, like more than get a feel for, but their culture from the different cultures or different branches, cultures, customs and courtesies. So I got a lot of working experience working with all levels, from enlisted to NCOs to officers. So that was pretty cool. So I really did enjoy that experience. And plus, like, a lot of people in the State Military Reserve, especially in my unit, it was mostly, I would say even more than 90% prior service, and then there was me. And so that was cool. And it wasn't like I wasn't treated any differently, although I did feel a little bit like I wasn't fully, I fully didn't fit in. Okay, we'll get to that part later. This is a positive. So but yeah, so I got a lot of mentorship. I was mentored quite a bit by all the prior service guys, and I got a lot of advice for about the Air Force, joining the Air Force, and so it was a good experience. Also, another positive was that someone just slammed on their brakes. Also, another positive, it was the networking. That's a really great place to do that. Like, if just meeting people from all different walks of life. I met teachers, educators. Who else did I meet? Yeah, and she was a teacher. I met a lot of police officers. A lot of police officers come through. They do security forces. A lot of police officers, a lot of firefighters, CEOs from very nonprofits. I am friends with a CEO of a very large, very popular company for men. I served with him for a while. He's a great, really awesome dude. I hope to see him again one day. He's a good friend. Yeah, so you just meet all different types of lawyers, doctors, and what's cool is, like, they always have given me like the coolest advice of all time. So that was a huge positive for me. Like, for life and life skills in general. Like, just meeting like all those different types of people, and getting advice from them on whatever it could be. So that was a big positive. I just blanked out. Yeah, so those are the positives for me. There's a bunch of other ones, like, just to gain experience, like in, with the weapons qual and the Humvee school, and being getting out in public, and then help supporting the Army National Guard for all their parades and things like that. But there were some negatives. I mean, just these are my negatives. So let's go through them. Okay, so here are the negatives for me. And I'm not gonna put like weird, like gripey little things in there. But here are definitely negatives for me. One, okay, So the biggest negative for me was, since I was in prior service, I felt like I didn't fully fit in, and that wasn't in part of, I wasn't treated any differently. There's just something in my mind, like this feeling I had where I was like, I do not fully fit in. So for me, the biggest negative was that, so another negative for me, which I think is actually the biggest, was like, so we did a lot of PR events, a lot of parades, sometimes with the Army National Guard, sometimes we just go in place of them, and we do all these PR events, and I feel really weird, especially like, because you're in uniform and people come up to you and they say thank you for your service, or kids come up to you and they want to talk to you, and I did not know how to react to that, just because I didn't do anything, that weighed on me a lot, because like, yeah, you volunteer your time for this organization to work with the volunteer to be in the state military, and you do work with the Air National Guard and the Army National Guard, but all I was doing was bringing people into the organization, and I had the same uniform on as the Army. Might say California, but it was weird. Like, I just didn't know how to react, because I didn't do anything. What did I sacrifice? Like, I didn't go overseas. I didn't even go to boot camp. Like, the boot camp for the state military is 2 days. It's a weekend. It's a weekend deal. So it's, I don't know. It's so weird. Like, I didn't even like using my military ID to get discounts and stuff like that. I thought, I don't deserve any of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't do anything. Like, I have a buddy, and I think I'm gonna get him on the podcast too. I'm gonna get him on. I have a buddy. I'm gonna get on this. I'm gonna try to get him on my channel too. I think he actually wants to do it, but he's been overseas. He's been in combat. He's in the Army. He's got a Purple Heart, and then that guy, like, yeah, we had the same uniform on technically, but man, like, there's someone that anyone that, I don't know, I didn't do anything to, I just felt kind of like a fraud. And I mean, to be honest, just I don't know, like, I just felt really bad that I was to the point where, like, I was trying to avoid people. Like, the second I get out, like, I take my uniform, like, I change it out of my uniform, because I don't want to give the impression that I did anything, like, did anything to really sacrifice anything other than, like, give up a Saturday or two. Like, it's once a month, it's not a big deal. So that was a big negative for me, if that makes sense. I don't know, my conscience was going crazy. It was just hard to accept what the public saw when they saw me. Oh yeah, so those were the two big negatives. I mean, you don't get paid unless you're activated, which to me wasn't a big deal. I didn't want to join the, I didn't join the thing about starting joining the military because I wanted to make a certain amount of money. That I thought, getting the education benefit, getting the experience in, that was like exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't fully think that, a level of guilt would come over me, like because I was in prior service, and, the way the public saw me, just, my neighborhood, and, like, even my friends, they say that, they thank you and stuff, and I just don't, it's still, like, kind of, it makes me cringe, because I don't, not because, they're saying it, it's just because I don't deserve that. So I'm in traffic for like over an hour, and I probably got like 5 minutes of usable video, because I'm such a terrible speaker. I I think this is why I should keep doing these YouTube videos, because it helps me like focus on my speaking, and hopefully I can like slow down my speaking and things like that. So on my very last thing, this one is like on my very last day, I was working at a security detail, and one of the sergeants from the Army National Guard came up to me. He's like, "Hey, how old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 39." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you," because it's funny, because on the very first day on the day I reported to recruiting, a recruiter from the Army National Guard came up to me and was like, "Hey, how old are you?" And I said, "I am 39." He goes, oh no, I was 37. He goes, "Oh, sorry, you're too old. Never mind." He was like, "You look young." I was like, "Oh, thanks." But anyways, so fast forward to a couple months ago, I'm 39 years old, and the same sergeant comes up to me and is like, "Hey, how old are you?" I said, "I am 39. He goes, "The California Army National Guard just changed their age limit on a case-by-case scenario, so now you can join at 39. Do you want to join the Army?" And I said, "I don't know, let me think about this one, but I'll go upstairs and talk to you about it." So anyways, went upstairs and talked about it. He did confirm it with the other recruiters. It is true. They did change the age limit to 39 for the California Army National Guard. I think I'll have to put that in that title too, but that is true. If you're older and you live in the state of California, you want to join the Army, join the California Army National Guard. The age limit did change on a case-by-case scenario. They're going to want to know why you didn't join when you're younger. But yeah, if you're interested in that, that's there. If you have any questions on that, let me know. Shoot me an email or in the comments below, and I will get you to the right people. Okay, so talk to me about it. I wasn't really interested just because I was actually really interested in the Air Force. So I was like, I'm still interested in Air Force. I have my MEPS, everything's all cleared. I'm good to go. Let me call my friend in the California Air National Guard. So I called my buddy up, and he was like, "Yeah, if you want to go, we can get you going pretty fast." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." And then so I've been working with my friend, my recruiter, for a while, for about a month. I haven't really been talking about it, so but yeah, because I didn't want to jinx myself for some reason. But my MEPS is all cleared. Like, I finished my MEPS last year, so I don't have to go back ever again, which is pretty cool for the Air National Guard. I booked a job, which is non-destructive inspection. So I'm just waiting for my application to go through. I'm supposed to swear in with the next couple weeks, make sure as long as everything goes okay with my application, which shouldn't be a problem. Because another thing that was cool about being in the state military is that since there's state military airmen around at the California Air National Guard bases, I was able to just, when they found out that the unit that I'm going to report, the wing that I'm going to report to, found out that I was in the state military, they gave me like this awesome tour, showed me all around the base, and then like showed me all the different jobs. It was awesome. So I got kind of extra special treatment from the airmen at that wing, so I really do appreciate that. But yeah, so I did book the job. I got a job. Everything's good to go. I'm probably gonna swear in the next couple of weeks. Make sure, as long as everything goes smoothly, and I'll probably be at my first drill and in student flight in September. Thanks again for watching these videos. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. I am on Instagram at Eric Minamihata. I left the link down below. Talk to me in DM. If you have questions, you can DM me or leave them in the comments below. I try to answer everyone's questions. Let's keep the conversation going. And also, if you enjoyed the music is by my friend's band called Nyx. She's a singer-songwriter. I will be backing her up on guitar. We actually just had our first practice. I can't wait. We're gonna play this music live. So anyways, thanks again for watching the videos. I really do appreciate it. I will talk to you guys soon.
Feeling